Looks like we are back. There seems to be life in here. Apologies for that. PC completely blue screened to death, and a death that it did die in the end. It just was not good. Sorry about that, guys. Quickly see. Prof, can you tell us what actually happened there?
Unfortunately, the poor lads from Tricked try to take a fight against the conquering Swedes, who are actually British, but don't tell them that, and just got wrecked in the end. Two very good kills by Smuya opened up the round, and they took a clean win there.
Yeah, showing a bit of the stats here. Smuya on 27 kills, 21 deaths, and he is a very aggressive player. An FPR that's frags per round of 0.931 is pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it must be said that he looked a lot less effective when he didn't have the orb.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. It seems to be his speciality, and he's very good at it. 10 2Ks for Smuya as well, which just seems like a crazy figure. ADR of 92.2, so he had a very good game overall. Cosmin also contributing pretty well, despite the fact that he didn't usually contribute any flashes or anything like that. But yeah, that was bizarre. On the other side, Lukey's probably the best player there on 23 and 20. Also the Orpa Rixo on 24 and 20 as well there. Both looking pretty good. Kind of felt like Trick maybe had it at some point there, but yeah, the aim on the guys from Epsilon looked pretty good. They hit some really good shots, and when they did execute, they did it well together. Although they faltered a bit earlier in the half.
Like, personally, I think it was actually the retakes more that did Tricked in than anything else, because there was a couple of times that they were sitting, 3 versus 4, or it was like a 4v3 and then like a 2v4, and they lost those critical rounds. And I think had they done that, they either, they had to force buy after that or save, and they could have done the exact same to Epsilon. So yeah, retake service all day long, boys. Go do it.
Indeed. Let's open up the current game. It's Dark Passage against the best name ever in esports.
I do wonder about that, though. I pointed it out while we were, sitting on the splash screen, but they do have a rather unfortunate choice of clan tag.
Yeah.
They do also have fake NAF, so I suppose that's a plus.
Yeah, that clan tag I think is fantastic, but I'm not going to say it.
No, unless you really enjoy drama on the internet, I don't think that's a very good idea.
Indeed. So if you are just joining us, this is ESEA main in Europe. We were just watching our friends from Epsilon take on our other friends. Of course, we've never met any of them from Denmark and in Tricked. And it went 16-13 the way of Epsilon, who aren't Swedish, who are actually 3 British players, an international lineup. And unfortunately, my PC blue screened as we were at the crucial moments of the game, and it completely died, so I do apologize for that. We should be back with this game any second.
I just realized something.
What did you realize? Tell me.
Dark Passage also has, when combined with the...
Oh no. I see it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well. If you're filthy minded, you would understand. Let's hope you aren't filthy minded, that you're innocent young creatures.
Let us hope you are indeed innocent young creatures, unsullied by the deprivations of a life of perversion, as myself and Prophecy are.
Fredo, 60. He's going to get himself killed there onto Key, as he's going to try to take a fight. He's going to win it against Hatex 8.
Are you casting the warm up?
I'm trying to.
You're trying to. Are you trying to warm up? Is that the objective here?
Well, if I haven't warmed up after an hour-long game, at this point I'm pretty buggered, right?
Yeah, one would think so. We don't typically cast this late in South Africa. We all go to bed early, us casters. Powder puffs, the lot of us.
Poppycock. Us Dota casters, no long hours and no pay.
You said another word that goes really well with those clan tags.
Poppycock.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Juvenile stuff coming out from us. Sorry about that, guys. Trying to amuse ourselves here. Of course, the Turks from Dark Passage are going to be taking on the best name in esports.
FD.
We'll call them FD. Because even if we do say they're full clan tag, we can't really do that either. So I think they're onto a winning formula, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be just a horrible misunderstanding, and you're actually pronouncing it entirely different in Danish. But we don't speak Danish, so that is unfortunately not something we can do or attempt.
It does look like one of the Dark Passage players is suffering some connectivity issues, because we've seen 6 players already for them so far. You know, I'm assuming the coach as well, and the player keeps dropping in and dropping off. So maybe experiencing a bit of bad internet from Turkey. Let's hope he can sort that out. Tell us about where the teams are at the moment in terms of the ESEA main log.
All right, so Dark Passages almost screwed that one up, but so Dark Passages, I think they were 13th on the log. Now, I mean, you guys, got to understand, there's like 150 teams, so you can be like 5-1, and round difference will give you a massively higher position on the scoreboard. So they're currently 5-1. FD is, I think, 4-2 at this point. So Dark Passage looking a little bit more solid than the Danes, but of course the Danes, there are many of them. Certainly probably the best CSGO nation of 2017. Haven't gotten off to the best start in 2018.
Cool.
So Dark Passage, well, I mean, they're one of those teams from that growing region of, well, they like to call it, what is it, Africa and the Middle East, which is interesting because Africa is one of the largest continents in the entire world, and the Middle East is
pretty small in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they group those nations, because Africa is not homogeneous, despite what people seem to think.
It's actually deceptively small on an atlas. Weirdly, the way
that's because, okay, and this is some really.
You're gonna bring out the conspiracy theory for us while we wait.
No, it's Chappie's wrapper. It's Chappie's wrapper for you. It's because putting a 2D representation onto a 3D sphere is very, very difficult.
Jeez, prof with the knowledge, living up to the professor there in the name.
Putting a I got it wrong around there. Putting a 3D sized map onto a 2D plane like you see on a piece of paper is very, very difficult. That's why anything near the equator is much, much smaller than it is in real life.
Yeah, Africa big, and of course we are from Africa. We're from South Africa, so don't worry, we're not Australian, despite what our accents might tell your untrained ears. We're English-speaking South Africans, and we're going to be casting some action here between the Turks from Dark Passage and the Danes of FD, whose name I will not say. And again, do not, at your peril, combine the clan tags from Dark Passage and FD. Just don't do it, guys. But thank you to the guys who've joined us. Good to see some Danish viewers we've got here. A couple of guys saying they don't like Snowman, say he's bad. Love to know why Snowman's bad. Maybe we'll find out in the game. This is, of course, ESEA main out of Europe. We'll be bringing you the action in 5 seconds. Off to a start here with Dark Passage starting on the CT side of Mirage.
Yeah, Dark Passage is actually vaguely known to us South Africans. They were one of the teams that our team currently in North America, Bravado, played at WSG 2016, I believe it would be. And didn't do so well there, but let's see how this goes. Key wins a very good fight there against Brado 60. He's going to get caught out a little bit behind here as FD does push in through the connector area, but they've gotten themselves caught into a horrible space here as Mr. Bishop is going to pick up Gerber, and it's now Marsbar and Naf left. Can they do this? They're going to get the first kill. That'll be Maisie. A couple of players on very, very low HP here for Dark Passage. And
when he gets another!
Yeah, Marsbar getting off to a wonderful start. He's going to turn right at the wrong moment though. Sturban not able to get that last kill. And bit of a worry here. FD does still have a lot of time to play these rounds. Haytex8 is going to get a fantastic shot there. Marsbar goes down, and that means it is a 2v1. So Naf does have the bomb, but he's going to need to really hit some nutty shots here if he wants to pull this one out.
Going to be very, very difficult. Not much HP to work with here on either side, really. It's just down to the numbers here for Dark Passage. They've got 2 alive. Only 1 here on FD. Naf's going to need to hit some Nafly-esque shots to make this work for himself. Trying to play it quietly, and he's going to get spotted by Sturban, gets dropped. Apologies for the left-handed view model. It actually was changed earlier, but in the previous game, the computer completely died, so everything that was changed in the config has actually reverted, which is pretty upsetting considering I spent a good amount of time trying to make it work. So apologies for that, guys. Fix it. Thanks for pointing it out. I wouldn't have noticed because I play left-handed as a player. So anyway, Dark Passage drawing out to Elidia. It's going to be FD on that force buy.
Yeah, very interesting force buy here, as Gerber is the only one who has not purchased anything, so he's probably the AWP here. The rest of the team has gone... Oh, I mean, Marsbar's actually gone full armor and a deagle. The rest of them have gone various combinations of upgraded pistols and armor. And FD, well, didn't get the kill, didn't get the bomb plant in the first round, so they're going to have to do what they can. Gonna get the first kill, getting the second. Naf, that is some pretty good pistoling there with the CZ. There's a Dark Passage in a bit of a dicey situation. Now 3 versus 4 do have massive advantages in armor and in armor and weaponry though, so FD still does have it all to do, and it's all on, well, not Snowman, sorry, Marsbar with that eagle. Can he get that kill on the player in CT? It has to happen. He's going to spot the player, he's not going to land the shot though, and that's probably the end of the round if Dark Passage moves to combine. Oh, Mr. Bishop.
Going to be tough here. Snowman going in looking for that pick with the deagle. Not going to find it until probably the fourth buy, so just spamming away that deagle. Finds the headshot eventually. Sturban there coming and getting himself a kill. Now it's a 2-on-2, but no HP here on FD. Nonetheless, the deagle ringing out for Snowman. He's looking good here. And Sturban in a good position to stop this, and he does. The fake plant and the peak will be his undoing.
Yeah, and unfortunately they couldn't root Sturban out. They didn't have any utility, didn't hit the shots they needed to with the deagle, and Sturban more than up to the task of just holding their attention long enough for the rest of the team to rotate in and just trade out in the end. So, I mean, expensive for Dark Passage, but unfortunately FD, they have absolutely no money to buy with here. So Snowman will pick himself up a CZ, one other player will grab himself a PT50, but otherwise FD, well, I mean, we mentioned in the last round, it is going to be the grinder. And it is going to be a horrible one to go through. Dark Passage losing 2 players, that's a bit interesting. I mean, not the best situation, but they will clean up in the end as a little bit more expensive than they would have liked, and they will have to upgrade at the very least one piece of weaponry, unless Mr. Bishop is really feeling confident in his MP9 skills. Yeah,
that first USP shot was kind of surprising. Pulls out the USP in that round, obviously looking to buy the AWP, and as he does there for Dark Passage. I found that particular shot entertaining. Before the meat grinder happened and the inevitable happened there where Dark Passage just destroyed them. But we will see the buy here from FD. Let's see what they're able to do. We've got the AWP on both sides, with Maisie getting the kill there early on. Gerber hoping for some kind of trade here, but nobody offering themselves up just yet.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching South African CS, Maisie did a thing that one of our best players, Black Poison, certainly does like to do. Pushes through the connector, picks up the early kill, and then falls back. So good to see that. It's not as common as the window spot, but certainly is potent if you can land those kills. As FD is now immediately on the back foot. 5 versus 4 don't have much utility to start with, and losing NAF means that they have all the less.
So trying to find some sort of purchase here towards the A site from the ramp area. Gerber hoping somebody's going to peek him on the steps there. Meanwhile, Fredo60 here in mid, hoping he can maybe come in on the connector play, trying to do the A split. It's a little unusual that it's only one player, but sort of playing the lurk here. And the entry coming in, beautiful flash. And Sturban going to take 2 pretty easily there in the end.
Yeah, and Sturban, he's playing very, very aggressively. I mean, this is one of those positions where you either get super lucky with timings or you get absolutely wrecked from behind. So Snowman is going to be the only player. He's going to get the first kill. He's not going to get the second. So chat probably will be a little bit excited that player that for some reason, we don't know why, they don't like very much.
Well, I think it was maybe sarcastic. I might have misread that. A couple guys saying that they do like what he's doing. But let's see, the Turks here, 4-0 so far, looking pretty good. FD, best name in the universe ever of esports, but not performing the best on the server just yet. But thankfully for them, it's early days. On the force buyer, not even a full force with 2 players lacking armor entirely. But I did feel in that last round the AWPer there, Gerber, just didn't do enough in terms of finding an opening for them. He was a bit too tentative with it.
Well, I mean, he hasn't done a whole lot of anything 0 and 4 at the moment, so not the way you want your AWPer to start off the game. They are going to get a kill there. Fredo 60 will start that off. Mr. Bishop sort of given multiple opportunities, just not able to hit any of them.
Retake time now as the bomb's got in. Hatex 8 gets the kill there. Naf trading it out. 4 on 3. And it's going to be 3 on 3 with Hatex getting a second here. They've got the weapon advantage, and unfortunately the players here for FD, only one of them has recovered a weapon, and he's going to make it work. We mentioned his name, and he gets a kill there, does Gerber. Hatex now on him, yeah, 3 versus 1. Is he going to be able to do it? He brings it to a 1 versus 1. This is so close, and he manages to cross as well. Is he going to get the kill? He does. Amazing work there. Gets the ace and will get the defuse.
Yeah, fantastic play there by the Dark Passage player as he pulls it through, and then very, very close for FD as Gerber finally waking up, and now we do see why he is the primary AWPer for the team. Didn't start it off, I think if he had anything but that Glock there, he might have had a better chance, but bit of a dodgy position for the plant in retrospect, but you can't really blame them. Didn't really expect to be that close, as Dark Passage loses quite a few players there, and in very real danger of being forced onto the eco if they lose this round.
Gerber now going for the... Ooh, the peek, and he hits the headshot. That was sick.
I take back everything I said about you, Gerber. That was some silly AWPing there. Holy hell.
Fantastic. Plays the spawn perfectly there. Has the good spawn, goes for the jumping player and hits it.
But super aggression here from Dark Passage as Key is actually going to get a kill to Snowman. He almost stuffs that up and does in fact screw it up, since Naf is able to easily trade out. It is now 4 versus 3, and Dark Passage's chances in this round became so much less. Maisie, he's doing that very aggressive A-ramp peak, much like Fallen. Could get lucky here as FD is about to send the bomb straight down Maisie's throat. Can he hit the shot? It's all about that. And Dark Passage certainly have a player to rotate in a little bit quicker. FD, you have to double peek this. If you don't double peek this, oh, and Maisie's going to turn right at the wrong time. Rado 60. Does he get peeked here? Wrecked.
Nice work there. And the double AWP going to ring out. Legs the player there. Gerber dropped down to 12 HP, and that's going to make it a little bit harder. Still a 3 on 3, 30 seconds just about on the clock. Delayed there because of the molly, but you've got to favor the CTs now, and considering that they've got a little bit of an HP advantage here, and time is of the essence for FD.
And Sturban winning that fight pretty much, I think, seals the fate of FD in this round. Maisie picks up another one, and it is all on Mars Bar. Did get a 3k in the first round, won't get anything here, and that'll be the end of that. Dark Passage picks up the 6th in a row, and FD is looking very shaky in these broken up rounds.
Hey Cooper, good to see you, Mr. Grumpy. And these are not South African teams. This is ESEA EU in Europe. It's the main championship, and this is Dark Passage from Turkey versus FD from Denmark. So a little something different on the channel for you guys. Hope you're enjoying it. Please let us know if you enjoyed. Drop us a like. Maybe drop a subscribe if you want to see more ESEA. And we'll be doing some other stuff like some Starladder stuff coming up. Potentially some DreamHack stuff too. So stay tuned. In the meantime, FD here posturing towards the B-bomb site. Pretty much everybody stacked up here, and they're going to be going fast.
Yeah, and Dark Passage's aggressive short hold might actually come back to bite them, as they don't have anybody on site to hold here, and the double kills from the FD players gets them into a good position. Traded instantly by Dark Passage with the fire and the AWP though. So FD, well, I mean, they've got the best position possible that they've had in the game. Can they do any more? Dark Passage does have a player who's holding very passively in the apps, almost as though they're trying to save. I mean, they need to get a move on here. They do have 3 kits, so they do have a little bit of time. Hatex 8, he's going to be dead. I was going to say the rabbit in the hat, but apparently not, and Snowman and Apple will just clean up the rest here as Maisie, the last player alive. He's going to whip the AWP shot, and that should be the end of his life, and it is Snowman picking up a 3k, and it's looking good. It's looking very good.
That was a sad miss. I don't think he should have even taken the shot. He probably would have escaped with his life. The player's back was turned. Misses the absolute sitter and pays for it. So 6-1 here, FD finally taking a round. And Dark Passage not in as commanding position as one would have thought, considering the number of round wins, just because they've lost so many players.
I mean, FD has done a very good job at doing huge damage to Dark Passage on every eco round. I suppose it's got a lot to do with Dark Passage being so damn aggressive, especially around the B side. You can check double push into the lower area, and that's going to catch out Gerber. And they could end up losing 2 here. Digtere, he's going to have to land it. He does. Somehow doing Fredo in with the jumping shot. Mars bar goes down now. NAF trading it out. Do they have enough? They apparently do not. Mr. Bishop is going to clean it up with an eagle. And FD all the way back into the dumpster there with that money. Only NAF with any sort of bank.
Yeah, that round just devolved almost into a bit of a pug. There wasn't really much of anything happening on either side except a bit of chest beating and dueling.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in straight deals, FD is just going to lose every time to Dark Passage here. It just certainly feels like Dark Passage with their aggression. FD either doesn't know how to deal with it or is just misreading it entirely, because there's been a number of times now where Dark Passage has pushed so aggressively that FD basically gets caught almost in their spawn with their backs turned. So very, very dangerous for FD to continue to play as passive as they are. And no mid control this round.
Emil, yeah, you do know the name of Bravado Gaming. That seems like everybody knows it because of the articles on HLTV that people from other countries seem to know about Bravado. At the moment, they're in the qualifying tournament, the Challenger Cup for ECS Season 5, and they beat Dignitas over the weekend, so not doing too badly. Who are doing fairly badly at the moment are FD. They're just getting destroyed here. I guess I could say getting DP'd, but you know.
Too easy.
Too easy, yep. Not supposed to say that.
He's going to try to work some magic. He's going to get the first bit, and he's not going to get the second bit. And there we go. AZ picks him up, so NAF gave him that small little bit of hope before cruelly taking it away. So Maisie's actually also on 1 HP, and had NAF known that, he probably would have taken the fight.
Yeah, so far the Danes taking some pain here at the hands of Dark Passage, and one struggles to see how they're really going to rack up a significant amount of rounds. They've looked a little aimless as well, it has to be said. So let's hope that they can put it together, but the Turks...
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I was just going to say, like, FD hasn't done a really good job of doing a lot in mid either. Like, this round they'll try to do something, and I suppose this is probably the most mid plays they've had. Oh, very, very aggressive there. Maisie as well as, couldn't see who it was, I think it's Key. Not getting a whole lot done there. And you can just see Dark Passage so happy to fight for mid control here. They've got 3 players spotting multiple smokes, flashes, mollies, and FD can't do a whole lot of anything. And there we go. Fights will come through, and Sturban and Maisie just picking up too many easy frags.
Yeah, this is not looking good from FD. Looking very rudderless here. And in a straight fight, as you mentioned, Dark Passage look like their aim is on. Got to say, this game is considerably lower quality than what we saw out of Tricked and Epsilon in the previous game.
Yeah, that definitely is the case. But I mean, like I said, FD just don't seem to do anything in mid. And the one round that they've tried now, you can see Dark Passage, because they have such a heavy mid presence, they can easily just decide to take the fights there. And with FD not even hitting the shots, it makes your life all that much harder. Dark Passage has so much money to counter. There you go. I mean, FD, that's pretty much the end of your execute. You had a single flash to get through, and now you have nothing. So they're going to try stomp like elephants down there. That grenade does huge damage as FD is about to run into the aim of Sturban, and he's looked fantastic, and that'll be an ace. What a fantastic play there by the Dark Passage player. 18 and 3. He is an absolute monster tonight.
Of course, that wasn't the hardest ace of his life. Probably saying in Turkish, easiest ace of my life, boys. That really was. They're just running like lemmings off a cliff into the waiting maw that is his AK-47. Just doesn't work out at all there. And FD at the moment, I don't think they got much left in the tank here. They mentioned them being aimless. If they don't find some early kills in this round, this could be an absolute blowout victory here for Dark Passage.
Yeah, well, they've got 3 players in mid, so let's see what they can get done here. They have smoked off a couple of areas. Dark Passage this time playing a bit more passively, as Mr. Bishop will just be spotting for the most part. They're going to just smoke it out, make certain that FD can't do a whole lot of anything. And Mr. Bishop will now jump. 8x8 gets a kill through the connector area. but that's instantly traded now. I don't know if they're aware of Mr. Bishop hiding in the window. And this actually could come back to bite Dark Passage. This aggressive short play once again means that FD has actually snuck a player right into the B site, and they could end up planting before Dark Passage has any idea of what's going on.
Yeah, I was going to say at some point that a better team would be exploiting Dark Passage's ridiculous aggressiveness, and finally FD potentially finding an exploit for it, where they've just walked into a bomb site free and clear, and Dark Passage are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, and Dark Passage must be like, who's in B site?
There's a mini-map for a reason, guys.
Yeah, someone's getting a slap at the end of this, I think, because that should never have happened there with Dark Passage. They should have at least had one player just, you know, spotting something. And ooh, that's a sexy shot there from Key. Hits a fantastic heady on Mars Bar. And is now the point man. Naf takes him out though. Sturban is going to be traded out. Lots of trades going across here. And Maisie's going to miss that shot. He actually had to hit that. I don't think Mr. Bishop has any hope of winning this. And that'll be the end of that, as Fredo picks up the second round for FD.
This is a bit of a topsy-turvy game, not quite what we were expecting, but Dark Passage finally getting bitten just because of their ridiculous aggressiveness. And if you look at it, again, their money is not as good as you'd expect considering the amount of rounds that they've won. They're all Maisy going glass cannon. But unfortunately for FD, there are no players surviving, so they're under equal strain here. And it's, depending on this round, could very much dictate whether it's a relatively competitive half here for FD or whether Dark Passage absolutely destroy them on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Dark Passage only have the one player spotting. He's going to have to fall back. That is Key, and the volley's going to come through. Can they do enough damage? Key's going to get the first one. Bishop gets the second. And Naf trades him out, so Key's got to stay alive. He's actually going to do better than that. He's going to get the first kill. That'll be Naf. It's now a 2 versus 4. Can they do any more than that? Snowman will trade out the final remaining member of Dark Passage on the B site. But they haven't got the bomb. It is in fact lying in the middle of the site, and unfortunately Fredo goes down. Snowman, he's got all to do, and he's got very little to do it with. Sitting with an AWP. Sorry, with an M4 and a smoke. Does he win the fight?
I don't think he's going to.
No. He's got the Deagle, but the Deagle doesn't have him. So Hatex8 picks him up, and Snowman does go down. It's 11 for 2, and that is the money for FD shattered.
Rip dreams for FD, and I guess we're finding out what happens when you put a bunch of new Danish players together without strong leadership. That's always the feature of Danish CS, is they've always got a strong in-game leader, and FD just look like they don't.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly haven't gone through the skill hunt.
Yeah, they're freeballing at the moment, and it's not looking good. Dark Passage, on the other hand, looking pretty decent. I don't know how they'd fare against potentially better teams, but so far bullying FD big time, and Maisie opening things up there on Snowman.
So, I mean, I don't really think FD expects anything out of this round. They have forced up, but unless Gerber can hit some really silly shots here on the Deagle, he's going to miss the one shot that he did have. That could potentially turn things around. That'll be Maisie, but he has picked up Fredo 60. And Mosbot, he gets himself Maisie. Hatex8 instant trade back though, and that'll be yet another nail in the coffin for FD's T side here, as Dark Passage knows what's up. They're going to instantly rotate here. Hatex8's actually got the flank on them. He's going to need to move a little bit quickly if he actually wants to make anything of it. And he will spot Naf. That's the bomb. It's into the site, and Sturban cleans up Gerber, and that'll be the end of that. 12-2 for Dark Passage here over FD. And it's looking rough.
You mentioned a terrorist side. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I mean, you'll see them running around in usually dark colors, sandy colors as well.
The guys that are just dying, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Those guys,
I mean, I wouldn't call it much of a strategic T side, but they certainly are present on the server.
Oh, the team kill. Oh, that's just a microcosm of how things are going so far for them.
Yeah, something like that. There's Gerber. He's going to try and make something happen with the Mac 10. That's not going to work too well, and Hatex8 with a fantastic spray down will clean up what remained of the FD side, and all of a sudden, Dark Passage 13-2 up on the T side. So Do we see a T-side from Dark Passage here?
I don't think they need much of a T-side considering how they've planted the boot firmly in the face of FD there. FD just had no answers to what Dark Passage were dishing out. And of course on the T-side you want to be the one taking the aggressive angles and dictating play, and FD just failed to do that pretty comprehensively, unfortunately. To answer the question in chat from Emil, is Sonic any good? Yeah, I'd say he is pretty good. There's a lot of likelihood he'll be picked up by a good American org if Bravado allow him to leave. I think he could be one of the next relatively big name players. I'm not going to say he's going to be like a Zaiwu or anybody like that, but it's very possible. He's shown tremendous skill in Bravado and in Energy before that. So let's see how he fares on the international level. And this weekend we might see him against teams in the ECS Challenger Cup like Rogue and damn it, I can't even remember the names. I wrote an article about it. Prof, help me here.
Rogue, Ghost Gaming,
Complexity.
Complex. Is it? Yes, I think.
Yeah,
they did get
Complexity is there
invited.
as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams that got invited.
Damn it, I just went blank on that one. But yeah, we'll see how they do. Let's see if he can be the South African hope, or is he going to be fool's gold? Who knows?
I mean, he's certainly got the playstyle to make it work. I think it's much more likely playstyle to work than Uber Aggression, a la Oscar, and those kind of players. So, Dark Passage spreading out across the map. Fairly passive default here, not really making anything happen. They don't have any utility, and they will pay for that. Fredo gets himself an easy kill there onto Key. That'll be through the B apps. Naf did take some damage for that though, so FD starting it off well, but it is going to be an A split. And FD, can they do a whole lot of anything? No, Gerber's starting things off well. Naf is very, very low here. Maisie decides to take a long range fight with the Glock, which is ill-advised. But Maisie kills Mars Bar, does have a USP now, so this could go a lot better. Has to hit the shot on Fredo. It's not going to hit it.
Making life tough for themselves though, and Maisie in a potentially winnable situation here. But he's absolutely up against it. He's been spotted, but he gets the headshot, and I thought he was going to follow it up. Naf needed the headshot, 7 HP, and he finds it.
Fantastic play there by Naf. I had to hit that shot. I mean, he's actually been the best player on his team. So, doing whatever he can to drag FD kicking and screaming into some form of relevance in this game. DP, though, looking very, very strong as Sturban 21-5 doing a not inconsiderable job on the FD side.
Good work from him so far. Nade doing a little bit of work there for Gerber as well. Going with the 4 UMP buy. Only a single rifle here, so running up against 5 Deagles. So this could potentially be dangerous. Dark Passage showing some considerable aim so far, so let's see if they can make it work for themselves. No utility to work with though.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to hit nutty shots, which I suppose is indicative of how Dark Passage does play the game. Very, very aggressive. As HateX8 is going to get the first kill. He is going to get traded out though, and DP Key. Wait, Dark Passage actually has a player on a site.
Oh.
How did Sturban actually walk into the site without getting spotted there? As a long range fight is going to go against Sturban. Naf winning that one. That is the only rifle in FD's hands, and unfortunately Dark Passage has gotten themselves into a 2v3. One of the players doesn't have armor. A bit worrying here. Mr. Bishop has been spotted. That is even worse. That is the only rifle now gone. It is in Maisie, who's got no armor, and Fredo's not able to hit the silly shot in order to win that round. As Maisie's going to take a very, very aggressive peek there. Can't say I agree with that though.
Yeah, a little bit crazy. Fredo in big trouble, yeah, getting peppered with those Deagles. And they got the angle on him as well, and he's not going to prevail yet. He goes down to Mr. Bishop, and it felt like FD, they were just doing their best to throw that round away.
Yeah, they certainly did. I mean, Dark Passage got handed that on a plate. I had no idea how that happened. Nobody was watching the ramp area. And unfortunately, I think it was Marsbar just playing super, super passive in the A side, not really spotting anything, and able to just get, I would say, debated, but not really. Just sort of got shot in the face without realizing what was going on.
Only got 4 kills as well, so He's going to add to his total. Yeah, gets 5. But at 14-3, Dark Passage in a good spot to be able to take this pretty easily.
I mean, 3 of Mars Bar's kills came in the first pistol as well.
This is true. This is true. For once, Dark Passage actually in a numerical disadvantage here, so let's see if they can bring it back there. And Haysex continuing his good form there, gets himself a kill. He should get dropped here and does from Fredo. So keeping the numbers advantage still with FD, and they're not working with a lot, but they are making a count so far.
Yeah, Dark Passage is playing it very, very slowly, and Key just getting shot down there by Mars Bar, who's tripled his kills, doubled his kills in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how Dark Passage are playing this, just playing incredibly slowly and kind of hoping for the best, and so far the best is not happening. There's the Deagle headshot.
Danes and Deagles is a wonderful combination. As the last remaining player for Dark Passage, he's going to try and make something happen. He's going to spot Naf, but he's not able to kill him in time, and that means that he has to win himself a 1v3. And he's got to earn the highlight reel here if he wants to win this round. He's going to spot Fredo. That's the first one going down. Can FD do the same thing? Do they fight together? They do indeed, and that'll be more than enough to pick up Maisie. Grab themselves 2 AKs, or just 1? Only 1. And they still have no money.
Yeah, they win the round, but it's not really the eventuality that they would have liked. Keep a couple more players alive, and they could have saved some of those AKs. Not going to happen, unfortunately. And for FD, still trailing by 10 rounds. And looking at the scores there, interesting how Key is lagging behind on his team, but he hasn't really been needed. If you look at the frags on a couple of those players there, DP being really, really dominant so far.
Key was also moved around a lot. I mean, he played in B site, and then towards the end of the first half, he was moved back to A. So I think just having, it's not a very good game overall. They've been trying to move him into different spots, trying to help him out, but it hasn't really worked out that well.
And the force buy here for Dark Passage, they're using it to try to get into the A site. You're going for these battles, and a beautiful shot there from Mr. Bishop. Finds himself an entry, and he's going to get the second kill there on Mars Bar as well. That's the bomb side open. 4v3 at the moment. HP pretty low on a couple of the Dark Passage players, and it's going to be even lower. The UMP rings out, and 3 players are dead. Through the box gets Mr. Bishop another kill, and he's going to have to ace here to win the round.
Yeah, and once again, that must be, what, the second time tonight that we've seen somebody not check the firebox and get punished for it. So, yeah, Dark Passage, once again, just not checking the one corner that you probably should check on a regular basis, and being punished for it. Mr. Bishop, as you said, has to hit the ace to win his team the game, the round, and possibly the game.
Then again, I don't put it past FD just giving him the round, because they've certainly played a few howlers and given away a couple of numerical advantages. So I don't know. I'm not putting it past them.
So, I was going to say, FD does have a nade, smoke, and a molly, so it would be spectacular if they somehow stuffed that up. But in the end, Naf does pick up the final kill.
I have faith in their ability, Prof. I really do.
You have faith in their ability to screw it up?
Yeah, I do. I've seen some incredible examples of that so far. So, and I don't mean to be mean, guys. I really don't. But FD, I kind of expected a little bit more from them. But so far, they are at least putting up a fairly good showing here in the second half. And they should get this round pretty easily as well. Snowman gets himself a kill there with the last bullet in the magazine. I thought he was a goner. And it's a 4v1. Not going to work out yet for Dark Passage and FD. Hopefully for them, we'll build up some economy after taking some pain in this game.
Yeah, Naf actually not spotting Mr. Bishop there, the smoke right at the end, preventing him from spotting the final remaining Dark Passage player. And Snowman, oh, he's definitely going to spot him, and he's going to take him as well. So, FD looking pretty solid at this point, but in very, very real danger of being broken by Dark Passage if this round goes south.
Oh yeah, something Source to point out was a sarcastic comment earlier on. Snowman is 100% upcoming Astralis player. I enjoyed that. Keep it up, that was entertaining.
Well, I mean, that's what everybody thought about Config, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he's actually good.
Ooh, okay, savagery.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. He got himself a quad kill there in the eco round. Dark Passage now trying to commit towards the speed bomb site, but that molly is going to deter them in their efforts a little bit. And in this round, you got to say this is the round that Dark Passage either completely break FD and take this game, or FD live a little bit longer in the game here and start to rack up a few rounds.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Passage doesn't actually have a lot of utility yet. Looks like they are going to just try a basic execute. Is it enough to make anything work? FD
through the
got
smoke there.
in, and Key gets wrecked, so...
Oh, the team kill again! Hatex killing his teammate, still gets 2 kills nonetheless before he gets dropped here. And Snowman doing his best to stop
Nobody's
things.
watching the planter!
Oh,
dear Lord,
no.
Maisie. It's a 1v1, so he does have the opportunity of winning here, and Marsbar making the long rotate through the underground. And I don't think Maisie would have heard him there, so smallest of chances for Marsbar here if he makes the play. But does Maisie try the 200 IQ play and go through the window? He does indeed. He's going to run for the A site, and there's no way that Marsbar could know this is going to happen.
Yeah, that was a bit of a comedy of errors there, but still bringing it into a 1v1 at the moment, and it's very winnable for Maisie, but for Marsbar, equally winnable, except I do have to minus a few points for the fail attempt to jump there through window. Didn't work out for him. That plant's going to come in for Maisie, and I thank you for that that sub there, Emil. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And let's see. Can FD stay alive in this? Or is Maisie going to drop the nail in the coffin? That. Oh, and
Fantastic.
gets the headshot.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I think he should have played aggressively to at least spot out where Marsbar was coming from, but, I mean, makes the perfect read. Marsbar has to jump through the window to make anything happen, and basically just hands himself to Maisie's superior aim.
Indeed, so map and match point here in this best of 1 here for Dark Passage. Commanding lead for them. They've got 9 map points in hand for FD to actually just even draw level and take the overtime. And B-Rush coming in. Rush B, Sokablia. Here we go. Dark Passage going in.
We're going to get a couple of early kills. There is a player pushing up behind them very, very quickly. Do they know what's happening? No, they... well, they certainly do, but it's not going to make any difference. So FD, they're about to lose. There's 1 player left. It is Snowman. Can the lover of the masses get off to a good start? He does indeed. That'll be Mr. Bishop with a bullet in the brain. Lots of low players here, so Snowman does have the smallest chance of making this work. He's going to jump through the fire and flames, but it's not going to work out, and that'll be the end of the round. Dark Passage picks up a 16-6 win. Very, very convincing here from the Turkish side.
Easy does it for them, and a very commanding victory, as you mentioned. I like the In Flames reference there. I think was it In Flames that you were quoting?
It's Dragon Force.
Dragon Force. Never mind. I've got Scandinavian CS on the brain.
I mean, the Dragon Force lead singer used to be South African.
This is true. Let's actually pull up the stats here. I think it'll be interesting to see because it was a very dominant victory for the Dark Passage guys. So let's pull that up for you guys.
It was brutal. 16-6.
Very, very brutal. And Snowman doing the best for his team there, 18 and 20, so not even a positive KD. We also had Naf, who did hit a positive KD. He looked pretty good with the pistols, but overall not showing a lot, looking very leaderless, rudderless, one would say, and not making very much of mid-control either.
I think one of the biggest problems is that Gerber, as the primary AWPer, had the worst stats on the team, and if you're going to have a primary AWP or a person that picks up the AWP, you definitely do not want them to be... I mean, I don't know how good he is relatively to the rest of the team, but you definitely don't want him to be the bottom fragger. And so you don't want that to be consistent, ever.
Indeed, on the other side, Hatex showing some good form there. Also some good team kills as well. I think he did it twice. But
yeah.
Sturban overall also really good. Both Hatex and Sturban getting themselves aces in that game, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, Sturban's was a bit of a... It's got an asterisk to it.
Yeah,
I think Hatex is a little bit more legit than Sturban's.
It was a clutch, yeah. It was a 3v1 at one point. But overall, Dark Passage showing that typical aggressive Turkish style on... and prevailing in the end. And sometimes I think this sort of style that they've got could get punished pretty severely by better teams. Like, I think if it was, say, Dark Passage against Epsilon, Epsilon would have exploited that big time.
Yeah, they definitely would have. I mean, that is the problem. It's that it's very easy to play aggressively against a team that doesn't know how to deal with it. But as soon as you go up against teams that do know what they're doing, it becomes very, very difficult to continuously do that, because you're either giving up a ton of money or you're just losing straight out fights. So it can snowball horribly against you if you don't hit your shots. But Dark Passage, more than up to it tonight.
Indeed. So I think that's it from us. I've been Extremes, and my co-cast, The Prophecy. You can follow us on Twitter at Extremes and at Prophecy Gaming. We'll be bringing you more ESEA European main throughout the week and throughout the coming weeks, and we might be doing some other competitions as well. So I hope you've been enjoying it, and definitely drop us a like if you enjoyed the channel. Give us a subscribe, and come back next time. We really appreciate you guys all being here, and well played to all the teams that we saw tonight. Epsilon, Tricked, and I can't go with the other name, but I will mention Dark Passage.
FD.
FD.
Yeah,
The DP and the FD. Well, somebody got DP'd on the server anyway.
Yeah, I think a couple of people. Some young Danish boys.
Yeah, sorry guys. If you're a Danish fan, didn't work out for you. If you're a Turkish fan, you're feeling pretty happy. But we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining. Axe out.
Cheers.
Please just let me